Hey, welcome to Motherhood Equipped, where faith, wellness, ambition, and birth all come together to equip moms to lead with courage and unshakable purpose. I'm Brigitte. I'm so grateful you're here, and I'm committed to learning out loud and living my motherhood journey on purpose right alongside you. So let's link arms and step into all the potential that you already have.
Okay, there we go. Hey, Ashlee, thanks so much for coming on. I'm really excited about this.
Me too.
This is like friends catch up / try and be a little bit more on track to actually record a conversation, but it's going to be really hard because you guys, Ashlee and I have been longtime friends. I don't even know how long, but to give you a little bit of an intro, she is the founder and CEO of Inspire with a mission to help others feel their best, like all around. She looks at like the whole person and it's a really beautiful, just their whole mission. She is Jesus loving. She describes her style as like boho Western. She is passionate about living fully, freely, authentically, while still keeping family at the very center of her world. She's also a wife and mom of 2, and this is kind of why I wanted her to come on, because I feel like she just strikes this beautiful, I don't even want to say balance, because her life is anything but balance. It's a beautiful chaos, but she strikes the balance, for lack of a better word, between, being a really devoted wife and mom and supporting all the things that go into that, but also having her ambition and drive for the mission behind Inspire that I know she's going to share more about. So welcome, Ashlee. My first question for you is, you live by this motto of coffee inspired and Jesus living. So I would love to ask how that motto gets you out of bed and through just the chaos of everything you have going on.
Well, I have a coffee problem. I have a coffee addiction. So the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I want coffee, and Jesus is always on my mind. So as I was redoing my website and kind of redoing the boutique and all the things, I kept like trying to think and writing down all my thoughts and my notes of like, what is so important to me? And like, what do I always kind of think about and kind of say? And those words just kind of popped in my head. And so now I just kind of take on everything.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, and I see that it kind of rubs off on your kids too, which I can't wait to ask you about. I feel like you're just such an incredible role model. Actually, why don't I just ask you about that now? So yeah, we'll start off with momming. I would love to ask you, Ashlee, like, how do you teach your kids to do just that, to live fully, to live freely? Like, you just throw your whole heart and soul into everything and you lead with love. How are you instilling that in your kids when the whole rest of the world is telling them that they need to conform?
That's kind of a hard one. And we all in this house kind of struggle with that. But I have to remember, like, what is the base of what's important to us? If we take everything else away, everything else from, as much as I love fashion, as much as I love coffee, and as much as we love all the things, but like if we take that all away and we kind of strip it down, like, what is the most important? What do we need? And we need Jesus, and we need kindness. And so like we've struggled a little bit of like, do I homeschool? Do I not? And I don't, because I feel really drawn that my kids need to be in school, because there's so many people that their kindness might be the only kindness they receive that day. And because I talk about Jesus and we talk about praying, and we also talk about like when we're wrong, and I admit that to them, like, I shouldn't have yelled at you. I'm so sorry that I reacted that way. Like, was that a good thing? Would that make Jesus's heart happy, is kind of what we say a lot. And even if I do it, I'm like, I did not make Jesus's heart happy. And so just having that in their everyday is what I think kind of keeps them going and is comfortable to kind of lead with their faith everywhere that they go. And I'm constantly having Jesus music playing. I let them see me reading my Bible. I pray with them every single morning on the way. Make them do affirmations, like, what's your God goal today? What do you want to strive to do today? Even if that's
fun.
making us smile. And so every day we have these conversations.
That's great. Oh, I love that. What's your God goal for the day with your kiddos? That's beautiful. What about your work ethic? That's a little bit about like having your faith and just your, Holy Spirit joy rub off on them. But what do you want your kids to think about when they are seeing your work ethic and your drive for building your business and everything?
Balance and moderation is kind of what we joke around here, and not just with work. I also am a cookie monster, and the kids and I will joke around found about like, we love veggies, we eat lots of veggies and fruit, but like, I love chocolate and cookies. And so we'll do it and I'll be like, it has to be in moderation. Like, we can't have all these cookies, but okay, like some of it's fine. And because I had recently, well, about a year ago, moved my boutique to my house. So I'm in the boutique and it's like a room in my home. I am to stay busy and I have 1,000 things going through my head, but it's that thing where like I have to have moderation. I want them here with me, and that's the beauty of being able to have my boutique home, but that could also mean that I'm working all the time, and I need to make sure that I have moderation in keeping my working and my family time and my household time kind of on a schedule, I guess, because there needs to just be beauty in all of it, and I want them to see that.
That's so good. Well, I guess like a little bit about that balance, right? And I had skipped over that. Yes, you guys, her boutique is in her home now. It didn't used to be. And when you think about like on the days that are the most chaotic and overwhelming, because I know you, I'm sure you have them. I don't want to assume it. I'm sure you have them. Do you have any tips for like how to reset? Because I feel like that's relatable for any mom, even one that's not running a full on store outside of her home. How do you reset to find that balance? Because I do think that's something really that you are very good at.
It's kind of constantly a reminder. There's days that I'm better at it than others, and there's days that I sometimes kind of lose my cool on it, and I just have to step back, and I just literally have to step back, like step away from the screen, step away from the
Mm.
clothes, step away from social media, just step away. And I need to like go find something else to do, open my Bible, drink some coffee, and just be thankful. Just be thankful. And I have like an affirmation notebook. So a lot of times I will write in there every single day, like things that I'm thankful for. And if I have to step outside and just go in the silence and close my eyes and just listen to the birds and just remember, like, I'm so thankful for just the little tiny moments,
Mm.
even if that's like a hug and a smooch or a little snuggle hug from my kids, some of their artwork, coloring with them. I kind of have to refocus on priorities and thankfulness and just step away from the chaos.
Mm. Yeah, that's so good. I do actually have a couple more questions about that balance that you have, but before going further down that pathway, this has just made me think of how a lot of moms, I feel like, walk through at least a season, if not just a very long time, of kind of having this feeling that they've had to put their personal identity away on a shelf. Is that something you can relate to?
So very much. After I had my son, well, he's almost 10, that happened a lot. I didn't start even realizing it until he was a couple years old. I didn't even
Mm.
realize it happened.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I actually, I wanted to ask you if you could relate because I actually don't even know how long you've had Inspire. Can you tell me how long have you had Inspire?
Yeah, I created Inspire when I was pregnant with Lindley, and Lindley's almost 6. So I was pregnant with her when the kind of idea came to mind.
Hmm.
But before that, I had been working. I worked at our local dental office for 15 years, and I was schedule coordinator and managing lots of things, and just busy with motherhood and work and
Yeah.
all of that.
Do you feel like pouring your time and your energy into Inspire helped you get over or kind of get some of that identity back? Or was there a different way that you did that? How did you go about healing from the like, I feel like I've had to put my identity on the shelf, like who am I? How did you go from that back to like, okay, I'm back in my creative, bold, authentic self rhythm?
It was actually, I had gained quite a bit of weight, and I was very unhappy with myself in general after I had my son. And until I looked, it had been happening, but I didn't realize it. And I looked in the mirror one day and I'm like, I don't even know who you are. I don't like who you are. I don't like what I see. Like, I don't know what is happening. And so Beachbody was a thing during that time. And I had a friend, we live in a really small town where she was a coach. And so I reached out to her and then I became a coach. And so health and nutrition, she kind of taught me. We'd have lots of meetings, lots of coaching. And so I was never on social media. I'd never done a video. I'd never anything. And she kind of was like, you have to get on there. You have to get on there. Like, talk about your journey. And so I finally became comfortable being on there, talking about things, learning about health and nutrition, learning about good things to fuel your body with. But one of the main things that we also pushed was reading every day. And my choice was to start diving into the Bible more and affirmations and devotionals. And so there was like a checklist, like drink so much water, make sure you read, make sure that you're moving your body. And so doing all of that, it kind of really opened up my health and fitness journey, my nutrition, my goals, my being comfortable on camera, and then kind of diving into affirmations and devotionals.
Wow. That's really, really beautiful. I know that's, pretty specific to you, but also could be very broadly applied to anybody. Is there anything else you would add? Like if you were talking to me, I'm a brand new postpartum mom and I am feeling that way. Like, do you have any specific advice that you would add on to that?
I would, and this is something that I used to tell my clients, and I still tell everyone, I want to aspire to inspire people in all walks of life. And you're not even if you're a postpartum mom, just anybody that you're feeling in that rut with yourself, is to start small. And small wins are still wins and they still matter. Some people think that you got to go in and it's all going to happen at one time and you can't appreciate the small things, but there was beauty in simplicity and there was beauty in connecting and just kind of having that relationship if you start that with the Lord, because anything that's hard is going to be worth it. Anything that's worth it's going to be hard. And so I would start with walking, just moving your body, even if it's around your yard. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Any kind of movement in your body and being outside is going to help you. Starting with a water goal, carry your water everywhere that you go. In the car is where I drink a lot of my water, but writing it down and starting with a goal, just being like, can I drink 40 ounces of water today? Can I drink 60 ounces of water today? And then as you start to feel better, your nutrition starts to be better. You start to want to be more active,
Mm-hmm.
picking up any kind of devotional, if you want to pick up your Bible, sometimes that can be a little intimidating to people, which I understand, but picking up something, even if it's just like a small little blurb, to start having that connection with the Lord, to start talking to Him. You can literally talk to Him like we are right now
Yeah.
and just write down 3 things a day that you're thankful for. It can be coffee, it can be
Oh, that's a good
friendship,
one.
anything, but just 3 things a day that you're thankful for.
Yeah. Oh, that's all so good. Thank you, Ashley. Especially because I feel like, the negative thoughts breed more negative thoughts. And then before you know it, you're just swimming in a pool of negativity, which might be valid. Like they might all be negative things you're walking through. But I feel like it can be hard then for our minds. They will just overlook all the positive that can fish you out of the negativity pool and pull you out of that rut. That's a really good one, the gratitude practice. But yeah, thank you. Okay, you mentioned it, so we're going to go with that. Aspire to inspire, literally the most
Yeah.
beautiful tagline. I want to know, give me all the details, Ashley. Okay, like how did the vision for your business, how did it come to be? And then I would love to know after that, just like how motherhood played a role in that. Obviously, you were already, I just tripped over my words there so badly. You were already in motherhood, but like my first question is tell me all about how your vision for your business came to be and then how being a mom plays a role in that.
So a friend of mine has a boutique in our small town here, and I would go in and just sit there when I was pregnant, and my son he was with me sometimes, but sometimes he'd be at daycare or sometimes I would just need like a minute to talk with a friend, and I would just go and sit in there. It's a Christian-based store, and she is amazing, and she taught me so much about my faith, and I would just sit there and I would just talk to her. But I had started my Beachbody journey during that time. So before that, I was already doing it for a couple of years. And then I got pregnant with my daughter, but I was still actively very active. I think I was some of the fittest or the healthiest when I was pregnant for my daughter. And so I was sitting there and she just inspired me as a small business owner. But I wanted to help people get to know the Lord, wear cute fitness clothes, workout clothes, because some people are so self-conscious and I want them to feel comfortable and beautiful in their own body and
Yeah.
all body types. And then just the small goals and the things that we talked about. And so I actually started off by doing workout clothes, workout tanks, leggings, all the things. And then it kind of moved into graphic tees and more, water bottles, purses. I've always really been into fashion ever since I was a tiny, tiny, tiny girl. I wouldn't wear tennis shoes. I wore red cowgirl boots all when I was toddler. Like I have came out of the womb liking clothes. And so it just kind of grew into more. I kind of helped with markets. I started modeling for them clothes in the boutique that another girl had. I would put their outfits together just because I always have. And then I'm like, you know what? I can do more than leggings. I'm doing this all for you guys. Like I wanted have my own too. Like, and I just started
Mm.
ordering and ordering more and selling more and putting outfits together for other people. And now that it's at my house and I'm with my stuff every day, it makes it easier. I can physically be around things and kind of see it. And I don't know, it just, as a mom to watch my kids, even my son will put outfits together and he helps me sometimes design the kids' designs. And he tells me he wants to be a business owner and they've had a lemonade stand and he wants to like make things to sell in here. My daughter is always trying on clothes and wanting to do outfits with me. And she's always in the shop hiding little baby Jesuses around so people can find
Oh
like
my
a
gosh.
scavenger hunt. They're always around. So it's just, I don't know, it's just become kind of family.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. How beautiful is that? Like, that's such a good example of how we just rub off on our kids so much more than we might realize in the day to day, right? Like, you going after your dream that the Lord put on your heart to, start, inspire, and serve people in this way has made your son want to basically do the same thing. I feel like it's also, your journey. I would assume, so correct me if I'm wrong, Ashley, but like, do you feel that part of the reason why your kids are so confident and so comfortable in their own skin in an age when most kids are kind of struggling and not really sort of, I feel like both your kids could just burst into a room and say, "This is who I am. This is why I'm here." And I feel like a lot of that is because you did the work to get to that place yourself. So obviously you had that difficult postpartum period that led you to your fitness and wellness journey, but then the confidence that you were able to grab hold of in who God created you to be, like, do you feel like that also has rubbed off on your kids? Because it sure seems like it has.
Say so. I would say so. I'm a little type A, so certain things that they want to wear, I'm like, nah, you can wear it at home, but you can't wear it in other ways. I'm a little type A in that aspect, but they work out with us. My husband works out. They work out with us. I've been pushing vegetables since they were tiny. So now, like, they'll grab spinach and eat it out of the bag like it's chips. Like, they just, they do. We call it dinosaur leaves because my son really likes dinosaurs, or he did when he was little. And so I started coming up with fun names to call things. I try to make fun and healthy meals that they want to also help and make. I started making them smoothies when they were tiny. And so they love their healthy smoothies. They're in here with me when I'm styling and when I'm doing things. And so I really think that that helps because Inspire is not just about a business, it's a ministry and it's my
Mhm.
ministry. And it's also kind of my kids' ministry in a way. My son is kind of shy. He's very goofy, but he's kind of shy. But he will go up in front of our entire congregation at church and he will sing worship. And he is not shy to do that. And so I don't fully understand that. That is all the Holy Spirit because that's a little strange, but that's kinda who he is. I don't know. I can't take the credit for all of it because, like, the Holy Spirit's running through both of them, and they have their
Mm,
own relationship with him, and all I can do is encourage and guide.
yeah. Well, I mean, were you nervous at all when you went out on a limb to start your own thing? Because, I mean, of course, yes. Okay, let's give the Lord all the credit. But I'm sure also subconsciously somewhere he was watching you like, okay, well, I know my mom really wants to do this. And I know she's a little scared, but she's doing it anyway. And,
Very much so.
there could be something there.
Very much so. And there was a point where I'm like, you know what? He wouldn't give me these ideas if he wasn't going to do them to glorify himself or if it wasn't going to be to help somebody. There is a plan, and I need to get out of my head because he says to fear not and to not be anxious. And so there was times that I'd get down on my knees on the couch and I would, or like in front of the couch, and I would just start praying. And I do that with my kids around or with them not around. Like if they see me doing it, that's okay. My daughter will get on her knees with me. Waylon, not as much, but it's just one of those things where that when they're nervous about things, we just kind of talk about like, is that what we're meant to be? Like, I know we don't live in a perfect world, but if
Yeah,
God's encouraging us to do things, like we need to trust in his timing and we need to be obedient in what he's calling us to do.
that is so good. So, is that some advice that you would maybe give someone to, I mean, like, to a mom who's, like, in the throes of motherhood and all the crazy, but still has an idea, but is torn because it's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, I don't have enough time," or, maybe imposter syndrome, like, "Who am I to do that?" But, like, the Lord still put that desire there to do something. I don't know what it is, but, like, what other advice would you give to her? Because 'Cause I'm sure there are a lot of moms out there who are loving being a mom, but like also still want to do something. And I think that you can do both. I know this is like for some weird reason, like a very controversial topic. When I read Proverbs 31, I'm like, I'm pretty sure this woman did a lot of different things. That doesn't mean everybody has to, but it does mean that like the Lord can make it happen if that's his plan. But I'd love to know like what other advice you would have for the mom that's sort of in that in between, wants to, but doesn't know if she can.
Think that you just need to ask him. Like if it's in your head, you just need to ask him. And like I said, you can talk to God the way that we're talking now. And it's just, Lord, what would you like me to do? You gave me this idea. Is it for right now? Is it for later? Am I to keep praying about it with you? Please give me a nudge or a God wink or a God whisper and make it clear to me as what it is your plan is for me. I've had lots of ideas, but they're not always ones that are happening right now or in the way that I think that they need to happen. We as a society and in the world, because there's so much social media, we're always comparing, we're always kind of seeing, and we tend to put ourselves in a box or some of our ideas in a box to try to do it just like somebody else. But that might not be his plan for you. He can do anything, which means you could do anything if that's what he wants for you. And who would have thought? Who moves a boutique into a room in their house? Me. That's not normal. That's not, that's not typically what happens. That's not, but I don't want to be like anybody else because that would be really, really boring if we were all the exact same. I want to be me. God created us all very uniquely and very specially, and he loves us all. And I want to be who he created me to be and do the things that maybe are a little bit different because I don't want to be scared to do the things that are a little bit different. If we get in our heads too much, the negativity will take over. And our mind is the most powerful tool that we have in our entire body and in the entire. Our thoughts kind of control our lives. And so instead of focusing on the negative, you need to focus on love and the positive and try to get through that. Because when you have a positive thought process, positive and joyful things tend to happen. But if you focus on the negative, then you're kind of asking those negative things to happen.
Well, that was a mic drop. We can just be done right there. But that's so true. I think especially for someone who is sort of like, oh, I want to do something, or I want to work here, or I want to start this or whatever. But like our minds tend to protect us and they'll be like, well, what if this happens? But you have to like come back at that and be like, well, what if this happens? Like the positive, like, instead of, just looking at all the reasons why not, look at all the reasons why and what could happen. And yeah, the Lord can do anything. And sometimes it might look a little wonky, but you know what? A boutique in a room in your house is going to serve people just as well, if not better, than more of like a traditional look. You kind of touched on it just now because I know that you're really intentional about minding your mind. But what are some other things that you do, or maybe just like a piece of your journey that you have used to like prevent burnout or uncertainty? Like, has there been a time specifically in the past, 10 years or whatever, that you've had, you know, a little bit of an encounter with burnout that you had to pull yourself out of, or you've, dealt with some uncertainty that you've had to combat? Has that ever happened to you?
Burnout is a huge thing over here because I am constantly we have the boutique, but my boutique is, like I said, my ministry. And I also style people and I also do the boxes. So it's just so much more than a boutique. I do social media for a lot of other businesses. I'm a mom, but I'm like a very present mom. I'm at every school event. I'm on the PTO. I'm on the improvements board. I'm with them all the time. I do social media, but I'm also help the aesthetics and kind of event planning for a lot of different businesses. And we have an Amazon hub and I'm a wife and we have a dog. So like every given second, my mind is twisting into like this minute I'm with Inspire, this minute I'm with a Marine, this minute I'm with the other place, this minute I'm in a mom. I go back. So it's just one of those things where sometimes really have to take a step back and like stop looking at my phone, stop like set hours for myself. When is family time? When my kids have been asking me today, there's a new David movie that came out. It's like a cartoon and they really want to watch it with me. And so I'm going to be very intentional, like around after dinner, we're all going to come inside and like, we're going to sit down together. I'm not answering any emails. I'm not answering any phone calls. I'm not going to do anything else, but like set that time aside for my kids because they're asking for it. And then having a schedule. I'm a very routine person. I need a schedule. And when it's mass chaos all the time, my type A personality, like can't I can't function. And so like I have to in my old school planner, I'm an old school kind of girl. Have all these messy notes and like I have to write down my day. If I need to squeeze something in, be intentional. Like this is the time that we do certain things just to try to keep my brain and life organized.
Hmm. That's good. Those were some good tips too for just like the boundaries that you have set to protect. Because you're right, you are a very present mom. You're a very engaging and engaged mom. And I like those boundary ideas that you have set in place to protect that. Because work and all the other amazing things are amazing, but they can very quickly and easily steal into that time. So that was really good. You need to tell us about your boxes, actually, because you guys, for those watching, I have on the cutest little cardigan. For those listening, I have on the cutest little cardigan. And I got to get one of Ashlee's little boxes in the mail. And you guys, like, I am extremely hard to shop for. If you were to ask any member of my family, no, Ashlee, like you have a real talent. That's why we need to talk about this. I am very hard to shop for. My mom, my sister, my husband, they
I
all
can
know me so well, but nobody gets me clothes, you guys, because I am very picky. I have a tiny little comfort zone when it comes to the clothes that I wear. And so when Ashlee's like, hey, I have this box idea, like, can I send you something? I'm like, sure, go for it. But I had very low expectations, thinking that it would be like everybody else and just like, miss the mark. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to have faith in Ashlee because she's pretty darn good at this. And then I got the box, you guys, and she picked out the cutest little tank top. I would be wearing it right now. It's just that it's in the dryer and I need to like get it out of the dryer. And the cutest pants, the cutest dress, the cutest little sweater. So you need to tell us about the boxes because I genuinely think it's an extremely unique idea.
So I used to get Stitch Fix all the time because I love shopping. I love fashion. I like grocery shopping. I like it all. And I was like, how fun would it be if like someone shop for me and just kind of see how that went? And so I got them for a couple of years. Certain items I loved, certain items I didn't. I'd send them like some ideas. And it got to the point where like, I was kind of sending them my own where I could shop for, or they'd send me stuff that I already have. And I'm like, no, this is my body type. Please get me this, this, this. Or like, these are the colors that look good on me. Please get me this, this, this. And I'm like, why am I asking somebody else to do that when I can do that myself? And now that I have the boutique fully, I honestly like this is from the boutique. Like I wear a ton of different things and I love thrifting. So recently I'm like, why can't I start my own box collection? And like I trying to come up with some ideas, but like I said, I don't want to be like anybody else. I want to be me and I want to have my own spin off or my own ideas and my own way of doing things. So I prayed about it a lot and I've prayed about it a ton actually. And it's 2 of the boxes are on my website. 2 more I'm still kind of working on, finishing touches. But because I love thrifting so much and I want things to be affordable for everyone, I started the thrift box where I you buy the box. There's a small, medium, large. I send you a questionnaire that has a ton of questions to kind of learn about you. And then I go thrifting for you and I can shop for you and plan outfits for you depending on the box. I have a word box. So another questionnaire will go out telling me kind of what season you are in. And then I'll give you all things Jesus, all things Jesus in there. Coming is the In My Granny Era box. So it's like cottage core, vintage, that kind of stuff, kind of my vibe. And then I have an Inspire box. So that's all Inspire. So those last 2 are coming. But I love to shop for people. I love to put outfits together. I did the box for you. I've recently shopped for 2 little girls, a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old. That the
Oh my
mom's
goodness.
like, will you please just get me some things? And I bought them outfits. I've done school shopping for other kids before. And I don't know, it brings me great to shop for people and to put outfits together for people.
Yeah, well, but you also put a lot of intentionality into it, which I think is kind of what sets it apart from some of those other things. So I am going to be like shouting this from the rooftops because I think that it's incredible. And I mean, and the word box, like what a great gift idea. Like brilliant. Okay, my last question, Ashlee. So you're sitting down over coffee with a mom who is struggling to find her purpose right now outside of like, just being buried in diapers and laundry. Okay. What is one truth that you would want to speak into her heart?
That you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Even though it's hard, there's people that are in seasons where they would give anything It's going to make you cry. Give anything to be where you are, to give anything. And you were blessed and you have this gift. And I know that sometimes it's hard to see, but it is such a blessing and it's such a gift. I have friends right now that are losing babies and trying so hard. And I've been there before we had Waylon. And it's when you're in the season, it's so hard because you think of what you're going through and what you're doing, but it's more of like, how can I serve others? And you're serving your children. They need you. They are a part of you. You grew them inside of your body, which is like also such a big, big thing. And this time is going to go by so fast. And I know everyone probably tells you that, but you just don't understand how quick it's going to go by. And just try again to see the positive in all situations. Your kids could be screaming and not sleeping at all, but like think about holding your baby in the middle of the night and it's just you and the baby and they smile at you or they grab your finger. Like there's nobody else in the world that has that connection with your baby that you do. They're literally a piece of you. And it's the most beautiful thing in the entire world.
That's really beautiful, Ashlee, and such a good reminder too that so many people, they would give almost anything to be in that situation, however tiring and frustrating and patience testing. So many people are praying for just that. So thank you for everything. Tell us where we can follow you. I'm going to put all of it in the show notes, but tell us where we can follow you and reach out to you.
So Inspire it's Inspire Clothing. Is on Facebook and Instagram, and I have my website, inspireclothingami.com. And then a lot of times you'll see Ashlee, my name kind of tagged into everything Inspire. So you can always follow me on social, on my website, all the things. And typically I'm pretty reachable. If you have any questions, if you have anything, I'm on stories a lot. I'm hoping to maybe get Inspire on TikTok sooner than later. I'm going to pray about that one because I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. We'll see.
Cool. Well, we'll stick with what we've got right now. This was such a gift. Thank you so much for your time, friend.
Thanks so much for listening to Motherhood Equipped. Remember, you don't have to have it all together. You just have to be willing to bet on yourself and then trust the Lord every step of the way, walking boldly in the purpose He has for you. I remember very vividly searching for my first podcast related to motherhood when I was in the depths of postpartum after having my first, and I would have never found the encouragement I needed had the podcast I found not had enough reviews to show up in my feed when I searched. So I'd love to ask if you would pass this gift along to another mom needing encouragement and leave us a review so that we show up in other people's feeds, and also just share this with one friend who comes to mind. Thanks so much.